Hello everybody and welcome to Jesse's Tea House. We are in the tea mountains of Yunnan. Yeah! This is the entire Jesse's Tea House team. We have over here Jules, Jay, Angel, Cece, Alex, Gerard, Cassie, myself, Jesse, Claudine, and Marissa. There we are. Here we go. And, you know, we're making this video now in the tea mountains of Duidui at Sister Ai's place. And it's just going to be a chance to be able to share a little bit of what we did on this trip. We've already been to many places. We still have many to go. Very excited to be there. Let's start out with Jay, because normally these videos are yours. What did you think the moment people started showing up on that bus?
I didn't quite know what to expect, but right away, it felt like we all hit it off. The energy was great. I remember when Jesse actually entered the bus and there was like this rock us, the energy, the vibes were immaculate.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. We got the whole team. Let's go.
It really was seeing the bus was what hit me for the first time, that we're doing like big boy stuff.
At the airport, actually, in Guangzhou, it was happenstance that the team coming from the US and the team coming from the Philippines were in the same spot. And Gerard came up to me and said, "Hey." And I was like, who is this guy? Oh, it's you. It's you. I've been waiting so long to meet you. And I think there was like an instant like, oh, my brother's here. Here he is.
Yeah.
So it was just like a really instantaneous connection.
Yeah.
I definitely miss this kind of bond if we go back to our meetings again. But yeah, it's definitely worth the experience we have here.
It is super nice to be able to actually see everybody in person. I mean, the company started during the pandemic with me in my dad's kitchen, not able to go back to China. Everything started on Zoom. I mean, we coordinated the entire first sampler box with my tea friends in China on 10-cent meat and Zoom. So it's really great to be able to have everybody really here.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming to China.
We arrived in Guangzhou airport, and then we immediately took what they told us would be a 1-hour bus and turned out to be a 2-hour bus to Xinhui. Theme of the trip's taking longer than expected. And we spent the first couple days doing chenpi, like tangerine peel, with these organic farmers and drinking lots of aged chenpi and eating chenpi related foods. What are people's highlights from the trip in Xinhui?
I truly appreciated the value of the chenpi in the history that went along with it, and I especially liked being able to be photographed next to a chenpi that was grown on the year of my birth, which is, not that recent.
Seeing the effort that the farmers put in, I remember I talked to Boss Chen about this. I'm like, people who watch our videos, a lot of haters are just like, anything grown in China is going to be polluted. And it's like, no, these people are working really hard to make it actually work, and they do some of the most stringent testing you can do for export standards. It's even harder for the oranges because they said that the leaves kind of grow and then they fall, and so they don't have a lot of time to really collect bad things. But fruit that grows every year out of the roots of the tree, that's going to be collecting the entire nutrient of the tea for that fruit, it all gets siphoned into that fruit. And so if there's bad stuff in it, it's a lot harder to get the fruits, the chenpi, the peels to pass, as opposed to a tea leaf.
Each person we talk to who grows anything has such a deep respect and deep love for the land. I felt like we were talking to the chenpi dad more than the chenpi farmer.
Meeting the family that we met who grows the chenpi, it was so warm and welcoming. I was immediately like, oh, the older farmer, I'm like, this is my grandfather. And the lady who was driving us around, we were just chatting and like, oh my goodness, your son's in school and he did great. That's awesome. Oh, we watched this TV show. And oh, it's really cool. We were just absolutely hitting it off. It was just super warm. And then they had the cutest puppy I've ever seen in my life. So that absolutely helped.
They had a really, really tiny puppy.
My mom actually, whenever we would eat oranges or grapefruits or whatever, she would actually try them out. I didn't realize there was a whole culture and rich history of actually processing this stuff. It was a super educational trip.
I asked Jiegele about this. I was like, could you just dry a Florida orange and make it work? And he's like, we've looked into that. He said there were something like 35 different fragrance or taste chemicals that are in the Xinhui orange, and then the Florida orange, or that one had 8 or something like that. So you'll get something out of it, but it's that specific type of orange grown in that specific land where they have the mountains leading all the water into this gap in the mountains, and then the rich soil in there. That's part of what makes it work.
对我印象最深的是刚进入到种陈皮的那个厂子那边，然后我发现虽然说我们是在城市中央，但是 是里面的环境和设施，他们其实保护得非常好，而且没有在那里看到任何杀虫剂和工业化肥，这一点是让我感觉到非常自豪的，因为我们出口是有很高的标准。
我们发现了一个很有意思的事情，就是它有一个很完整的生态链。因为没有用过除草剂，所以它会有小虫子，有小虫子就会有出现它的天敌，就会出现七星瓢虫。有了七星瓢虫之后，就会出现七星瓢虫的天敌，就是青蛙。有青蛙之后，又会出现青蛙的天敌，就是蛇。所以它是有一套非常完整的生态链的。然后第二个我想补充的点就是，陈皮要3年以上的皮才能称为陈皮，而且包括这个种植它是分大小年的，今年丰收了，明年可能它的产量就会变得很低。我觉得他们这种坚持也是很难得的。
我们是在那个陈皮村，我们看到这一片种那个陈皮的土地，然后背景都是一些大楼。一开始的时候我们没有拍这些大楼，杰哥他跟我们说不，你要拍到哪些大楼？我说为什么要拍？他说因为这些大楼它能证明这个地是真正的在核心区。如果是背景出现这些楼和那个学校，那就证明这个是核心的基地，而且他们是因为知道这个陈皮对他们当地的那个经济是非常重要，他们也把这个所有的派水和这个水系统都是绕开了种陈皮的地区，所以附近如果是看到什么水，它就是雨水，它不会有任何流动的水所以我觉得他们花这个心思要在考虑这个事儿，这个工作真的做到位。So after going to the Chenpi village, we went to Xishuangbanna, which is way in the jungle. We went to Xinhui, which is basically the last major city before the border with Laos and Burma and Vietnam. And we met up with Duidui. I think everybody recognizes that Duidui is kind of like a one-of-a-kind guy. Yeah. There's no one else like him.
That's to put it mildly.
Yeah. We had a hell of a time with Duidui. And I just want to ask, what did people think of Xishuangbanna and our time there and hanging out with Duidui?
Duidui was crazy. He was the coolest person. He was also so time blind. Every single day was just, we're gonna go to this super cool place and meet these super cool people, but it's 3 hours away. And then it ended up being 5 hours away. And it was the windiest roads. And it was absolutely crazy and it was absolutely worth it.
Something about him is he gives it his all.
Yeah.
It's 10 p.m. and he says, "Are we ready to go to the night market?"
Yeah,
I was like, man, I'm ready to go to bed. I was like, where do you get the energy from? He has the energy of like a 10-year-old, like excited person. He was so excited. He kept showering us with like merch that he had made specifically for us.
Yeah, Jay, show him the Duidui. No, pop the collar. Pop the collar.
Pop the collar, yes.
Dude, get the Duidui style.
Oh, yeah, this is Duidui style.
With the Nyobi class.
As we were getting on the train to come further north in Yunnan, we hugged and he whispered to me, "I love you." I was like, me too, man. Me too.
That's great.
What a guy.
One-man wrecking ball. Like, so much energy. I remember our last lunch, we wanted a simple lunch.
I had to fight him to get that simple lunch. So in the morning, he called me and like everybody was exhausted from the day before. And he was like, all right, we're gonna go by the river and then we're gonna eat this giant fish I caught. And then we're gonna do this and then we're gonna go to the rail station. I'm like, we're lucky if we make our train on time. Like we need to eat within walking distance. And then he was like, but all the restaurants here are not up to my standard. You know what? Fine, I'll pick one. And he goes over to the restaurant, and the moment we go in, we all go into the seated area. He goes directly into the kitchen, and he's like, here's what you're gonna do. Like he was taking control right there. And he brought the big fish into the kitchen, and while we were eating, he brought those big bottles of Mao Tai, and he was cooking this giant fish, and we didn't even know it. And then in the end, we're like, hey, we need to go to the train station. He's like, not yet, not yet. Then the big fish comes out, and I bet we only ate like half of it. But super nice. He also gave lots of gifts to the team. Yeah. He gave tons of tea to the team.
You know, he has these crazy moments that we all talked about, but once you turn the camera on and he started talking about tea, it's like he was the most articulate, knowledgeable person, and he's talking about all this history, and you can tell like he has such a passion for tea. Kind of contrast of Duidui.
That's the thing I like about Duidui is just his personality. Like he's done tea for 30 years. His company is like doing their 30-year anniversary this time. He doesn't sell 100 products. He has a couple things he sells, And I think that's just like the way he is. He's like, I'm really gonna wait until that year, it was the right year to really buy a lot. It was actually really good this year, I'm gonna buy a lot. The next year, if it's not as good, he doesn't buy as much.
I was truly amazed he walked us through the whole process. He first brought us all into the area where he had some of the tea drying and made sure that we all wore hats and booties. You know, everybody had to stay clear of the tea and stay clean and sanitized, and that warehouse space was just huge and it smelled amazing. Then bringing us back and showing us the process of how the tea cakes get pressed and wrapped was also amazing.
Every single tea cake is hand pressed so that they wouldn't be super tight. They would still be pressed, but air could get in better, so it could age better, but it was also easier to break pieces off. And that was his standard. He didn't want to use the machine presses, which would have saved money because it would have made everything go faster.
He's not the type of person who's gonna like do something for a quick profit. He's just like, hey, he's my tea guy, I'm with him, so my people are with him, and their people are with him. And that's just how he works. You need people that have that mentality in order to keep the quality up, so that when we go into the new markets like the EU, we can be sure that like, hey, we pass these tests, like we really have it set. One question for anybody that went either to the ancient tree village of Naka or ancient city of Iwu. What did you think of going to the ancient villages?
When we went to the Iwu village, I think it was so awesome to like drink tea with an old tea house, isn't it? Yeah. And with the current owner, and he was the one pouring the tea for us. It was quite awesome, and it's quite different the way he makes the tea. Like he keeps on adding more leaves to it, and then just steeping it all together into one, and it's like the flavor keeps on going richer every steep. So it's quite awesome.
That place was one of the Lao Zihao, the old brands, over 100-year-old tea brand. It was really cool.
Yeah, every single moment in the Sichuanbana was really unforgettable. Like everything is so authentic. But one thing that struck me in the Yiwu village was, regardless of how old the tea houses are, most of the infrastructures, they have preserved their tea tables really well. It's so beautiful, it's so shiny, it's well preserved. Even like their museums, they were well documented. The tea was really good, it was steeped very well, and the flavor profile was really good. So yeah.
When we went to the village of Naka, I think we went there originally to see a woman who was over 100 years old. She was going to talk to us about tea. She is a legendary person. And we went there and she wasn't home. So well, why are we here? And then we kind of turned around and they were smoking the bamboo tubes with the tea inside. And we just asked and they said, yeah, come on in, watch us do it. A group of strangers, some of us who definitely are not from China, come and have a seat. Let's get some stools in the middle of this village under sort of a haphazardly put together roof and floor. There's this gorgeous tea table with all the accoutrement that you could want, enough cups, everything, and then everyone's there to just do their work and then talk to us. It felt like we were just a part of things.
Yeah.
It was actually really, really cool.
That brought me back all the way to like my first time I went to Yunnan in 2011, of like knowing nothing. I had no tea people. I didn't have like somebody to show me around. You'd like look and see who's outside, and then you'd use whatever Chinese you have to say like, hey, what is it? Can I try it? And like everybody always says yes. The next part of the journey was where we are right now, which is Sister Ai's Tea Mountain. So, what have people thought about being with Sister Ai and getting to hang out with her at the hacienda?
Yeah, I just want to say, like, after a whirlwind tour with Duidui and Sichuanbana, it was really nice to get here and just feel the calm and the serenity that is Sister Ai and her whole family. Like, different type of generous, but still very, very generous. You know, we came in with like a full meal on tables, like 12 different types of dishes. And the last few days have been very restful. Like, we haven't done too much.
We have had so much food, and all of it has been the best thing I've ever tasted. And different things that I've never tasted, like whole fried fish, that was delicious. Just tofu cooked in different ways. All of the pork, obviously delicious. But then her daughter, we're just playing. She's so playful, and we're playing like paper airplanes, and we've got like, my Chinese is pretty terrible, so we're trying to understand each other. It's just really fun and really nice.
anytime you want tea, there's 4 places to have it with any variety that you would like, and you're welcome to chat with anyone you want. Yesterday, they killed a big pig for us. I watched it happen. It was a little traumatizing. Trigger warning.
We have no footage of that.
Yeah. The pig we ate last night was on the hoof in the morning, so it was very, very fresh. Sister I and I have not had a lot of one-on-one time to chat, but she talks to me like I'm just a person she's known for 20 years. And we had a really great performance last night, something I would have never gotten to see if we had not come specifically here. And it was absolutely mind-boggling. It was so cool.
She invited a whole opera troupe to come perform for us. I was a Fulbright scholar here. I studied traditional Chinese performing arts. This was a shaxi, like a kind of a battling dramatic opera troupe. Come and perform outside in the dark in front of a woodshed with a couple lights they rigged up. This is the real deal. Like, that's the way these performances were done for hundreds of years. And it was that sort of touch where it's like, hey, I didn't ask them to say like, hey, can you provide entertainment at night for us as well as hosting us in the day? I didn't ask for any of it, and they're just so generous. They're thinking, what can we do for these people that may never get a chance to come back here again? What do we show them about Yunnan that's gonna make them remember it for a long time? That was really special for me.
Community at its best, I would say.
Yeah. Like, core part of what we're doing here is saying like, hey, we don't wanna be going to like 100 different wholesalers and trying to like, try 80 different types of tea and work with this kind of like nameless middle person in somewhere that's doing our, sourcing for us. Like, wherever we can get the chance, we want to go, we want to know the people, we want to build these relationships, and as the relationships build, you find the tea gets better and better. Also, as a tea vendor, you get better prices when you come back to the mountain a second year, a third year. You bring your whole team. They're like, oh, you're really invested in us succeeding and our family succeeding. We're gonna give you the tea at the best price we can. And that allows us to get you guys better quality and support our team. And it's all this sort of virtuous cycle from a business perspective as well, which makes it even better.
I came to the group a little bit late. I had a wedding in another country, and then I met the group in Xinhui. First of all, I just love this group of people. This team is absolutely incredible. And I think one thing I've really been blown away, especially coming in about halfway through the trip, is just how well everyone is gelled together and how close already. Even me walking in, I immediately felt that closeness. One thing I loved about Sister I is just coming in, and I know other people have spoken about this, but just is the serenity of the place. Like, you're just surrounded by the mountains and these beautiful views, and it's just like a much slower, kind of cleaner pace of life. Other people have talked about like everything here is like grown fresh, or even like on the way riding up here on the mountain, there's one point we had to stop for goats to like go past the road, and so I really love that part of it. I think the one thing I've really appreciated about being here is like further understanding what the goals of the team are. And I think for me, like, this is just like completely reinvigorated. I was already passionate and I love Jesse's Teahouse. But I think for me, it's like given me an even newer excitement about where we're going as a team.
Yeah, and Cassie is one of my friends in LA, and we were hanging out before you got involved in the Teahouse and everything. So it's also just fun for me to be able to like, oh, it was all real all this time. It's like, I wasn't just talking about it. To be able to have like all these friends from different times in my life. Jay, we played improv in Beijing together for, a decade. To be able to have all of this coming together, it makes me feel like the direction is going good. We don't need to talk too much about it because it's kind of not like strictly a tea thing, but what did people think of that like training we did? What makes the Teahouse special amongst all the other tea companies out there? What were some people's takeaways for that training?
It gave you a safe space to express what you want to express. Like, there was no, you're wrong.
The improv mindset. Like, there's something of value in whatever somebody's bringing to the table, and how do I take what is valuable out of there and build on it so that we kind of build together?
It felt like we all molded into one. Like, I knew we were gonna do well at Jesse's Teahouse because I like every single one of my coworkers and my boss, and our tea is great, obviously. But I am so sure of where we're headed, and I'm really excited.
We all really like each other, and we all really get along, and we can dress up in silly outfits.
Yeah, cut
and
to that.
parade down the street.
把不同的东西糅合在一起， 这个是一个非常好的一个开始。我希望以后有这种机会的话，还能多举办。对，
一年一次。
因为这次旅行中我们有很多的突发事件，然后我也看到杰西为了这个Juice当时差点就是不能呼吸了，杰西连鞋都没有穿，然后就一直跑过去跑回来帮他拿这个药，然后杰西也拦住了一辆路人的车把我们送到医院。我觉得这一切都是一个非常特别的经历，对于我们来说，也因为这些经历会让我觉得这个团队更加的有凝聚力，这个团队更像是一家人。
If you have good people and you believe in what you're doing, what else do you need?
Yeah.
I mean, paycheck, but
Yeah. Yeah, it's just been so fun to be able to run this company this way, and I don't know what time this is airing, but we've done all of this during what feels like the worst part of the trade war. We just don't know what exactly the future is going to look like, but I feel very confident after seeing the team here that like we have a lot of ability to shift and figure out a way forward. And all of these people in China who have been our providers, who are affected by the trade war just as much as us, still gave us the gifts, still putting us up and letting us live in their home. Like everybody here is looking for a way to be able to get on to a better future together. But I like this sort of feel. I've had a great time on this trip. I like bringing the people here. And I like getting really good tea for people. So I think I just want to just finish this up by thanking you guys, because it's all the support from the people in the audience. I mean, the internet is where it's different. I mean, people were asking on the comments section, like, how can he afford to bring everybody on the trip? It's like, it's because the ability that we can sit here with a couple iPhones and tell stories and share the people that we work with and share the tea that we're having. You know, we're not bringing a huge camera crew here. This isn't like a travel TV show. We're not on Netflix. But we can spend the money on the people. We can spend the money on the tea. That's where the money is going. And if you guys come and support the channel, that's where the money's going to continue to go. That's
As Duidui would say.
Yeah.
I love you.
Love you, baby. Yeah, all right. If you guys want to support the channel, jessieseahouse.com. If you're in the EU, eu.jessieseahouse.com, uk.jessieseahouse.com. Canadian friends, keep your ears open. No promises yet, but we're looking into stuff. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, the team, for coming to China.
See you guys.
See you all later. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.